Hey guys, welcome to your first PhoneGap project. In this project, basically, we're going to be creating a really simple app. It's going to be basically it would be a small mobile website for a company or for a business. But what we want to focus mostly on in this project is the whole process. We're going to install all the stuff we need. I'm going to show you how to use it. There's a few things we need to install. First of all, we need Node.js so that we can have access to the Node package manager, because that's how we're going to install PhoneGap. We're going to install XAMPP or XAMPP, which is it'll allow us to have an Apache server on our local host, just because we need to actually have a server to do some of the things that we want to do as far as testing and all that. We're going to install Android Studio, which is a complete IDE for developing Android apps. You can develop native apps using Java. A lot of developers use this tool, but what we're really going to use it for is the emulator that it comes with, among some other things. But we're not going to use it as our coding text IDE or text editor. We're going to use Sublime Text for that, which is much simpler. And essentially, all PhoneGap applications are HTML5 JavaScript applications. And we're going to use something called PhoneGap Build, which we can actually upload our HTML, JavaScript, CSS files, and it'll spit back out a full PhoneGap application that we can actually install. Alright, now we're going to do most of our testing with Android, because if you want to develop iOS apps, you need to pay for an Apple for a license, a developer license, which is, I believe, $99. So, yeah, Android is completely free, so that's what we'll be doing most of our testing on and so forth. As far as software, I think that's pretty much it. There may be one or two. Also, we're going to use, like I said, the Android Studio emulator, but we're also going to install Ripple, which is a Google Chrome browser emulator that we can use. Alright, so we'll be using that mostly, but what we do want the Android Studio emulator for is it actually runs Jelly Bean or whatever the Android operating system is, and we can actually have contacts and you can do all that. Ripple is much more lightweight. It does have some features like geolocation. It has a built-in accelerator, things like that. So we'll be going back and forth between the two, really. Alright, so let's get started. The first thing that I'm going to install here, or show you how to install, is Node.js. I actually already have it installed. But what you want to do is go to, I think it's nodejs.org. And what Node.js is, essentially it is JavaScript on a server. Alright, and what we need it for really is NPM, which it comes with. And that just gives us a whole repository of JavaScript tools that we can use that we're going to need specifically for PhoneGap. Alright, so you come to this page and just click install. It should download whatever you need. We're using Windows, so it's going to give us an MSI installer. Okay, and we just want to open that up. And we're going to go ahead and run it. Okay, really simple. It's just a basic Windows installer. Okay, so just agree to the license agreement. I'm going to install it in the default directory. Keep all the defaults. Install. And while that's going on, maybe I don't have it installed. But we also want to install a shell program so that we can basically run a terminal-like command prompt. So for that, what I use for Windows is called Git. The website is, what is it? I think it's Git SRC or not. Oh, SCM. There it is. And this is it gives you Git for Windows. Git is a version control system, which we'll be using a bit of because you need to actually upload your app to GitHub to be able to use the PhoneGap build service. So you want to install that. Just download for Windows. And yes, I do have it. Okay, just go through the installation and you'll get this program here, Git Bash. And let me just make sure I have Node because I'm not going to go through with the installation if I have it. I'm pretty sure I do. Yep. Alright, so yeah, just install Node. I guess it just installed it anyway. And then go ahead and install this, and you can open it up, or you can navigate to where you want, or you can just right click on something and go Git Bash, and it'll bring you to that directory. Alright, so we'll be doing a lot of our command line stuff with this program. Alright, and then let's see, I don't know if I have XAMPP or XAMPP. Doesn't look like it, so let's do that next. Alright, this one is available at apachefriends.org. Alright, and let's see, I'm on Windows. I'm going to go ahead and grab that. Alright, that's quite of a big file, so it might take a few minutes. While we're waiting, let's take a look at what else we need. Okay, so we're going to need Android Studio. Alright, so let's just grab this real quick. Download for Windows. Okay, I'm going to agree to all this stuff. This I actually don't have installed. Oh, that's a big file. Wow. 887 megabytes. Alright, so that's downloading. Now, as far as a text editor, I'm going to be using Sublime, which I think I have. Yep. Alright, so you can use whatever you'd like, whatever you are comfortable with. Okay, Sublime is I really like. It's really simple, and I do all kinds of different types of coding on it. Alright, so I'm just going to open up a notepad file just so we can review what exactly you need. Okay, so we want Node.js, Git, and Git Bash, which are the same program. We want XAMPP or XAMPP, Android Studio. Okay, Android Studio is going to give us the SDK, the Android SDK, which is really important. And it also will give us ADB, which is the emulator program. I think we have to install that from within Android Studio. Let's see, your text editor, I'm using Sublime. Okay, of course we need PhoneGap, which we will install in a few minutes. And PhoneGap is installed through NPM, which comes with Node.js. Alright, hopefully all this isn't too overwhelming. Once we get this stuff installed and up and running, then we'll be fine. Now, I'll be introducing different technologies through each project. For instance, we'll probably use a database program like MongoDB, but this will be later. Okay, so MongoDB. We'll be using different kinds of frameworks such as AngularJS. We'll be using graphical template tools like Bootstrap and Foundation. Alright, so you can see that there's a lot of stuff, but this, you don't have to worry about doing this now. It's pretty much project specific. This stuff here is the core tools that you actually need to have now. Alright, so let's see how we're doing. It looks like XAMPP is downloaded, so let's go ahead and run that. Okay, this is really easy. Just another Windows installer. Just next buttons, really. All right. All right. Now we're going to get a message about user account control, the feature of Windows. I'm just going to ignore this. I'm not going to shut it off because I've never had a problem with it in the past. And we're just going to go through here. Now you can pick and choose what you want here. Only thing we really need is Apache because we just need some kind of server. But I'm just going to keep it all checked. Okay, default location is right in the C drive. And it's just going to open this web page. I'm just going to shut that. I'm going to close that. All right, so we'll begin the installation. All right. Oh, another important tool that we'll be using, which will be project specific, is going to be jQuery Mobile. Whoops, that's not coming out, is it? So jQuery Mobile is just a mobile framework. It'll give us some really cool design elements, things like that. We'll actually be using that in this project, but it only consists of including a JavaScript file. Alright, so XAMPP is finished. It's asking if we want to start the control panel. We're going to say no, because what we want is to run it as an administrator so that we can install the services or enable services. Alright, so we want XAMPP, and you want to right click and run as administrator. Alright, and what we're going to do is click these X's for Apache, and MySQL is basically, you can leave that if you want, but I'm just going to install it as a service as well. Alright, so now we can start these. Alright, and those will just run in the background, and we can go to, we should be able to visit localhost now. Alright, and it takes us to this XAMPP splash page, and there's a bunch of things you can do here as far as securing the environment. PHPMyAdmin, which is a database management tool, but we're not going to need any of this stuff right now. Alright, so as long as you're seeing something at localhost, then you should be all set. Now the directory we're going to be using for this is going to be in your C drive or whatever your Windows drive is. And then XAMPP, and then htdocs. Okay, so this is essentially our web server. All right, and we'll create different folders here. All right, so we'll actually create the folder we're going to need. Actually, no, we won't do that because we're going to generate that through the command line. All right, so XAMPP is now installed. Now let's move on to Android Studio. Okay, so we'll open that up. Alright, and I'm just going to save this file for now, and we'll just say, I'll call it tools, and I'll include that in your project files as well. Alright, so let's run this installer. Okay, we're going to say yes, and just go through this. Oh, this is a big thing that I forgot. We're going to need a JDK version 7 or newer, so we need to download the following compatible. Alright, so they actually give you a link to download Java. Alright, so we just want to make sure I'm on a 32-bit system, so I'm going to want Windows x86, which is this right here. Okay, we need to accept the license agreement. And if you've been using the computer you're on for a while, chances are you already have this. You already have Java. If you don't, just go ahead and install it. And I'm going to update that text file. So we're going to need Java So JDK 7 or later.